You're listening to REIA Radio, the nationally trusted name in real estate investing. We dig deep to discover investors' why in real estate. If you want to skip all the BS and get in investors' heads, you're in the right spot. Be one of the thousands to check out REIARadio.com. Welcome to REIA Radio, episode 192. You're listening to the Real Estate Rundown. And in the studio today, we have producer Aiden Bear, Lis Bertrand, and superstar Megan Ahern.
And Ted Kaasch.
Baby,
Cash money. Let's go.
This is a completely new dynamic for me to have you guys in here right now. It is kind of crazy. But Megan and I just got done interviewing Katie
Neeson.
Yeah.
She's a big deal.
She was fun. She's got 55,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Megan, you brought Katie in. How do you know Katie?
Yeah, so we've been to so many masterminds together and different events, all that. So as soon as you asked me like, hey, do you want to co-host this? I'm like, first person I go to is Katie Neeson. She's brilliant developer. Love her to death as a friend. That was such a fun show. She's such a firecracker. I love her.
She made these comments. She's like, when I start conversations, I usually like really bad with people. So I like to have like a grenade, throw it in a room, piss some people off, and then create some conversations out of it. And I'm like, well, that's one way to do it.
Wow.
But you guys both have the fact that you guys love to go to a ton of conferences. You both met at the Maui Mastermind. Is that correct?
Yep.
So you're both good friends with Brandon Turner and that whole group, which has been life-changing for both of you. We got into her development, her coaching, her life story of having parents that were real estate agents, the highs and lows of that, which I definitely can relate with. And then what she's doing now is just amazing with the development, rebuilding the downtown in her area. And
it's so cool. Like what she's doing is like really transforming a city. So like you buy a little rental in the suburbs. I mean, yeah, you're changing some lives or changing the world for one person that lives there. But she's like really transforming the whole look of her downtown, the whole feel of it. And yeah, we got to dig into that a little bit.
I was going through some of her pictures on her Instagram and everything, and like her first houses that she was flipping. I'm like, oh my gosh, those look like the condemned hellholes that I take on. And you learn so much when you take a house down to nothing. And Owen's like, that's like new construction. And it really is. The stick build is there. The foundation's already there, but everything is new and you have to go through every permit with the city, and you learn so much from that. Guys, if you're listening to this one, stay tuned to Wednesday because you're going to get in-depth ideas on new construction, ideas on what people like in the downtown area. It's going to be really enlightening. And definitely check out her Instagram if you want to learn more about her right now. And then that way you can be a little bit more prepared for what you're about to get into.
Yeah, she's at Katie Develops on Instagram.
Katie Develops. There you go.
Yep.
You were saying that she mentioned something about things that people like in the downtown area. Is there anything in particular that stood out to you when it is you guys interviewed?
Well, we don't give it all the way.
No, not all. Just one piece.
We kind of have the same philosophy that have something that's funky. Because if you're in the downtown area, you need something that needs to stand out.
Yeah.
And so that was a big part of it. She wants to have some wow factors. But also, if you're in the downtown area, it isn't your traditional white walls, gray walls, flooring. You got red brick walls, you have exposed walls. She's doing beautiful murals in these properties, something that really make it unique. Kind of like Owen has in his Airbnb that he has. We put all that money into that mural, same type of concept of that.
Yeah, I definitely see like it adds a community factor to it where you involve the community, the artists and the community to come and, be a part of the landscape and the, I guess, the visual of the city. So sounds cool. I wish I was here for that interview, but I reached late, so
Yeah, I mean, the fact you're here is something we haven't seen in about a year.
I know.
So, Dennis, since we're chatting right now, what have you been up to? Like, what brings you in today? What's been going on in your life since you left the podcast?
I did not leave the podcast. I took a sabbatical. Everyone, I took a sabbatical. But Ted and Owen keep saying that I left. Anyway, so
you're not in the room when we podcast, so you left.
No, okay.
I'm
here in spirit.
We kept your picture on the flyer.
I know, and you still have me on the cozy, so I love that. On the coasters. But what brought me in today? We have a very, very big. Well, I say we because I always include myself in your stuff.
We have a presentation, yeah.
Very big presentation on Tuesday with a really, really big headliner, Jason Dries.
Jason Dries.
And, you know, it's going to be different. There's a lot of moving parts that are going to be newly introduced. And I wanted to make sure that me, you, and Aiden, who would be assisting on that day as well, we on the same page in the event that I have to order any new equipment before Tuesday, that it will have time to arrive. So that's why I came in today. But at the same time, I know that Megan was going to be here. So I'm like, hey, you know, let me just jump on the real estate rundown, reach in time for that, and, you know, just talk and, you know, fill you guys in about how things have been. You know that your godson is going to be turning 1 next Wednesday.
So crazy. What are we going to do?
We're just going to be home. Okay, he's not going to do anything crazy.
Yeah, throw a party.
He's 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so he would get his 1.
Get
You
the
gotta
big
do it
cake.
right. The smash cake,
Yes.
the whole thing.
He's going to get a smash
thousands
cake.
of dollars of decorations.
Nope, that's not going to happen.
Is the smash cake an American thing, or do you guys do that at home too?
So a lot of our, I wouldn't say traditions, but things like that are adopted from American culture.
Okay.
So yeah, we never used to do it, but it's a thing now.
Here's one tip.
hmm
Do a sugar-free cake. The kid doesn't know. They're still excited, and then they don't get puking and sick.
There you go.
Mm.
Yeah, because Carson was like globs of football cake in his mouth and sugar-free, so we didn't have any puking.
But that's good. But since leaving, when I left, I got a job. Remember, I told you guys I got a job. And I actually left that job. I think it was like the 12th of this month, because I decided that I wanted to be an individual artist. So in that job, I was a teaching artist, teaching African drums and teaching students about Africa. And then I applied to the Nebraska Arts Council to be an artist in schools and residence, individual. So I'm on their artist roster now, and I could go into schools and teach children about my culture. Yes, Africa is a part of my culture, but it's definitely Caribbean culture, which is Pan-Africanism. So the traditional African dances and songs and those things changed when it came to the Caribbean. We took music from Africa, definitely, and we started to create our own rhythms and our own music. And that's what I want to teach students and adults alike about. So
I hired a musician for our REIA event.
and it wasn't me.
It wasn't you. No, it's
Rude.
it's a jazz guy.
Is it the same guy who plays the jazz?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna have from like 6 to 6:45. We're gonna have some live music.
Dude, I'm excited
That's
about
how
it.
classy
I'm
we
coming.
are, and a food truck.
Oh.
Yeah.
I actually thought you were going to bring in a shifty.
Oh no, not gonna. That's more money than I want to spend. I don't need an official
I
DJ.
thought so.
No, not
I
gonna
was
go
like,
there.
yeah,
No,
nah.
that setup and takedown will take more time than I have.
Yeah.
Hey Megan, so what have you been doing lately?
Man, real
Besides-
estate,
Traveling.
traveling,
Mm.
a little bit of that.
Like literally, I hit Megan up. I think it was like a week or two ago, and I'm like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And she's like, sends me this picture. She's like on the ocean on a boat.
Always.
Yeah.
Always,
Always.
dude. I
She's
got
like, "F you. This
squirrely.
is what I'm doing."
Yeah, it got cold, man. I'm not built for that. I don't have that kind of insulation on my body to be hanging out here all Nebraska winter long. So I was like, I'm out. I decided like the day before, and I was like, hey babe, I could get these flights for $12 and some points. You know, I'm gonna go to Maui, and so I went without Jeff, without the kids.
How'd that go over?
It went really well. Jeff is he's the man. He's the real winner. He totally supported that because he saw me getting a little crazy, and so he'd rather me do something productively crazy than just crazy, like buy a motorcycle or blow something up just for funsies, you know?
I tried to tell Tamara that she needs to go out more often.
Mhm.
And she always is like, but I like my house. And I'm like, yeah, but you would soon realize, because she went out last night and she was like, I had so much fun. And I'm like, that's why you need to go out more often. You need to have fun outside of the house so that you'd
Yeah.
appreciate the house more, you know?
Yep.
So I'm glad that you got on that trip.
Yeah. And he knows like I'm such a visionary, but you have to kind of remove yourself from your working in your business to be able to like vision and think about how do you grow your business or where do you want to go. So yeah, it was a very productive trip for sure.
So, what are some of the aha moments that happened on this trip?
One of the things was I was talking to Brandon. So recently I've been working with Brandon Turner on his first deal program. And at first he brought me on as an advisor. So I'm just doing the one-on-one coaching with the new kids or whatever they're adults, but the people trying to learn real estate. And on that trip, he offered me a job, full-time position as head of first deal. And so that was something that I was able to think about that and really kind of digest that. Like I've been spending the last 10 years of my life trying to not have a job. Do I want to work for someone Or is this such a big enough goal and a big enough venture that it's exciting enough for me to want to jump in? And so I did actually accept that position.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What does that entail once it starts?
It started on Monday. Clearly, I'm working hard here. Sorry, B.
You're promoting it right now. What are you
I'm
talking
totally
about?
promoting it.
Yeah.
I'm just dicking around on a podcast. No. So it's a little bit loose of a structure, obviously, but it is fairly executive level, head of product. So I'm going to be really transforming that and making it even more amazing than it already is. And I'm so excited about it. Like, it's fun to build businesses. It's so much funner to build businesses with friends. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about
Okay.
that.
So what exactly is this? And if somebody wants to join it, how do they find it?
Yeah. So it is essentially for the person that wants to get into real estate, that's never done a deal, and then teaches them how to get their first deal. Or maybe they have like a 1 or 2 accidental type landlord situations, and then they want to be able to scale or be able to really become a real estate investor. It's a 1-year program. It has a ton of modules with Brandon, and then it also has a weekly group type coaching aspect to it. It has a community aspect to it. It has one-on-one calls with these different advisors, which that's what I was doing before. But then there's also 5 other guys, and we all do different things. So I do MTRs and flipping, and there's somebody that does really big into short-term rentals. There's somebody like Ryan Murdoch is one of them, huge in syndication and multifamily and all those things. So the students can self-select and go to whoever they need to go to get the help that they need to get at that moment. And so we're actually guaranteeing that people that join will buy their first deal in that year. And so that's the magic of it. And then that's what I've been working on, is everything that's student facing, of like, how do we guarantee that? How do we make sure that somebody that's new can buy their first deal in a year? So that's been super exciting to me.
Okay. And how much does it cost, and where do you got to go to sign up?
You have to go to firstdeal.com to sign up, get on a sales call, talk about the price.
Yeah.
I'm not giving it all away.
No. Okay.
And if you put Megan Ahern, use the code Megan Ahern.
Yeah, use the code Megan Ahern. You get
none off.
you get charged more.
It'll go up by 15%.
Yeah. No, but
Acorn. It'll be Acorn. That'll be the
the Acorn. Actually, you should tell the sales guys. They should tell me at least that they give me some love or something. But yeah, it's a great program. And I will say that it's obviously an investment. I paid $30,000 to learn real estate, and I learned just enough to get myself into trouble. And then my first deal, I lost 20 grand on it, that long distance flip. So I'm 50 grand in the hole.
one you're doing the selfies at.
Yeah, I was all excited about losing 20 grand on it. So like, to have somebody that you can book a one-on-one call right away when you have something under contract and be like, hey, can you look over my deal? And I can tell you, like, this is a terrible deal. You know, that in itself absolutely will pay for itself.
You know, we throw, as people in the real estate space, throw around numbers like 20 grand and 30 grand and 50 grand as if it's small numbers. And, you know, I guess it's small numbers when you're looking at real estate being in the hundreds of thousands and stuff. But it's very, very scary for a new person to hear, hey, you know, I lost 50 grand while I was 50 grand in the red. But now I'm like a multi-millionaire and I'm doing all these different things. And it's like, it's hard for somebody to wrap their mind around those numbers, especially when they operate on a paycheck to paycheck basis. Like, I get like $4 grand a month, and I'm hearing people wasting $30,000 on experience and $20,000 in failed flip deals and all these different things. Or in Ted's case, I mean, in the hundreds of thousands in some cases, you know, like, but how do you help someone understand that framework of the potential of losing in the tens of thousands when they are only bringing in just like regular $5,000-$6,000 a month in income, in a salary?
Yeah, there was a time when I was about to quit real estate, man. I got beat up in 2022. It was so bad. And I went to one of my mentors and I was like, man, just hire me. Just hire me as like a acquisitions guy. Like, I want to be able to sleep at night. I'm so stressed out, you know? And he's like, okay, so why do you not just take one big step up? Why do you not just double your business? What's holding you back from that? And I was like, well, I got this debt, this happened, and I feel like I don't know how to estimate rehabs anymore. It's like when all the construction costs were like doubling and tripling. I don't know.
That was a tough time.
That was rough, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just scared. Like, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? And he's like, here's the thing. All of those reasons, all those excuses boil down to fear. You never said you didn't want it. So like, what happens? Like, what's the worst case scenario? I'm like, well, I lose all my houses. Okay. Then what? I don't know, I go get a job. My kids are homeless. He's like, you still got that trailer you were living in when you were first starting out? I was like, I do have that trailer still. He's like, okay, so your kids wouldn't be homeless. You'd be in the trailer park again, but they'd be okay. And could you get a job now? Yeah, I know a lot more than when I started, And he's like, okay, so you'd have food and you'd have shelter and you'd be fine. So what are you actually scared of? Because you're going to just be right back to where you started, and then you'll be able to get here that much faster the second time around. And I was like, yeah, what am I scared of? So at that time, I just decided, all right, I'm going to double my business. And it's scary. It is totally scary to have that thought of losing everything. But I think I'll regret it more if I look back at my life and go, I had this opportunity that I could have taken. It could have been really amazing, but I didn't because I was afraid of it. Then if I look back and I say, I tried it, I filed bankruptcy, didn't work out, had to restart.
So now fast forward until to today that you've taken on this W-2 job pretty much and full time, but you still have your other businesses. You have a property management, you manage your own properties?
Yeah, Jeff manages our properties.
You have renovations.
I do. Yeah.
You have, you guys have quite a few assets. So, and flips, like, how are you juggling this with this new job that you took on?
Yeah, so I got really good at systematizing my business a lot through that Maui mastermind, but systematized it to the point where we could step away and move to Maui for a year, and our business still was growing and growing. So at this point, we flipped probably 20 houses and brought on another 15 rental units last year. This year, we'll probably flip about 30 and probably bring on another 15 rental units. But that is with almost no interaction from me. So I'm to the point where I don't need to be doing any of that to have that still continue to churn in the background. So that will keep going. And then I'll just be doing this as more of my full focus right now.
I can't wait to catch up on this in 6 months from now.
Yeah.
How is the JOB going for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a really exciting venture, and I'm really happy for you. So
Yeah,
congrats
thank you.
on that.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So what's next for you guys?
Well, for me, definitely the teachings. Actually, before we came on air, we were talking about AI solutions, and that's actually something that I'm really interested in getting into. But it leads straight into your golden nugget.
And this golden nugget is brought to you by JM Real Estate Capital.
Hi, it's Rob, JM Real Estate Capital. We're the money guys that you need to know for all your real estate investments. Talk to us. We can do what your local bank can't or won't do. We don't have millions, we have trillions with a T to lend. 844 we close, or go online at jmrecapital.com. That's jmrecapital.com. JM Real Estate Capital, smart solutions for the real estate investor.
Well, today's golden nugget is, if you are interested in writing a book, don't let the fact that you have no writing skills hold you back. I have really deep dived into doing a book multiple times, but after having 2 calls with 2 different groups and then picking my brain on how to run successful meetup groups, I actually had a company call me wanting to provide me coaching and systems to run a better group. And they do this. And so I was actually pretty excited in the conversation. So we started talking. An hour later, I went through on how I run my group. And she's like, do you have a book we can read? Would you want to be a keynote speaker for our event and talk to all our coaches? Because the stuff that I was talking about, they don't do as a company, which was kind of mind blowing to me. And I was like, you know what? When I think about my why and bringing communities together and lifting people up, I was like, well, maybe this is it. And I'm a terrible book writer. So as I'm driving now in my truck for the last couple of weeks, where I just listen to books and podcasts, I have used one of the chat GPTs to create a book. And I record all my thoughts on running a group, my background with running a group, the background on me. I recorded for almost 2 days. I put it in there, and I'm thinking that I got to be pretty close to being done. And then it gives me the expansion topic on all the areas. Tell me more about this. You only touched on this. Tell me more about this. And then it gives me 40 things to expand on. And that has happened 8 times. and it says, you're doing great. You're really making some progress here, And hindsight, if I ever do this again, I'm just going to block off a whole day, because when you stop or get a phone call and that you have to reread kind of what you talked about, but it's been pretty fun. And I think that this AI written book, because I'm not a writer, would be done soon. I'll probably just put it on like a free ebook or something like that. But
Why?
Well, I'll put it out there. Somebody thinks that there's value to it.
I would buy it. And let me tell you why I would buy it. I would buy it because I actually want to learn how to start a meetup the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And it involves bringing African Americans together, the whole Afrocentric group. So
Afrocentric.
Yeah.
I like
So
that word.
African Americans, Africans, Afro Caribbeans, Afro Latinos,
Oh, yeah.
Afro Portuguese, Afro everything. So it's bringing them together in one place to realize that, you know, we don't have to feel as if it is we are competing against each other. We could work together. But anyway, that's my tangent. The idea is I would read that book because I want to implement that idea. So I think that your book would be valuable to me, which means that I would pay money for it, which means you would get money, which means you should sell it.
If I print them,
You got $15 right there, man.
There you
Might
go.
as well do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to create it. I'll send it out to a few people, see if there's any interest in it. In worst case scenario, I'll just make an ebook out of it. I don't really care because it's good for the name regardless. And, you know, that's a business card.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is these days. And I'm not no Brandon Turner that can go down and write a book in a whole day. That's not who I am.
Yeah.
But all my stuff is in my brain. So if I can find something, put it out, I'm going to do it. So the gold nugget for today is, if you got something that you know better than anybody else, even if you don't think it's a book, why not use the app, record yourself and put it out there. And then if anything, you can say that you've written a book and it's your ideas. Even though somebody else wrote it, it's still your ideas. It would never came together if it wasn't for you.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be nothing holding you back. And honestly, if you want to talk about legacy, a legacy is having something in print out there or digital that's going to be out there for the rest of the world to see for life.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? You never know what that book could do for you or for somebody else. And if you can impact one life, isn't it worth it?
Yeah.
100.
That's so cool because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs too, they're like very visionary or they get like really deep in what they know. They don't have time to write a book. They don't have time, you know, but to be able to do it with AI and like even me, I'm not a good reader. I'm not a good writer. I'm a good verbal communicator. So I could communicate to AI. AI can write my book.
There you go.
Like I told Brandon, I'm not writing the book. Remember when
Yeah, he was
we had him on
going to be a
the podcast?
ghostwriter.
Yeah, he would ghostwrite my book. Not everybody could just hit up Brandon and be like, bro, go write my book.
Is he ghostwriter yet?
Oh, no, he hasn't.
So I did an interview with Craig Kurlop for his podcast yesterday. And when I was doing that, I got on Chat GPT and I asked Chat, because one of the questions he asked is, what's your why? And the why question, I think I always know what it is, you know, family, and that's so basic, I think, in a lot of ways. So I asked Chat GPT, I go, what's my why? And I thought I was going to have to like put a lot of like answers in there. And it spit me out an answer without any prompting. So it gave it to me. Here's what I ask it. Can you quickly help me with answering what my why is? And it says, absolutely. And it goes into it. And before I read it to you, what it tells me, I go, did you just review all my previous chats to create that? Yep. I pulled everything I know about you, your work from Omaha REIA Radio, real estate investing, coaching, networking, and even your family priorities to craft this. I use this for 2 years straight, and I use it probably anywhere from 1 to 10 times a day. It even writes my emails. He goes, I wanted to do something that was truly reflects your passion for community growth and financial freedom while also keeping it concise and impactful. And I didn't even ask it to change it. So I'm going to read it to you. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
I thrive on building communities and creating opportunities for real estate investors. Whether it's through Omaha REIA Radio, or coaching and networking, I'm driven by a passion for helping others grow, connect, and succeed in real estate. I love empowering people to achieve financial freedom while continuously learning and evolving myself. At the same time, I value family, freedom, and financial stability, ensuring that my work aligns with my long-term personal and professional goals.
I love that.
That is scary.
It knows you better than you know yourself.
That's scary.
That's literally the definition of that.
I had a holy shit moment. I didn't realize it looked at all your chats. I was like, why doesn't it work? Because it didn't used to. The previous versions,
Right.
One would never connect with the next. And when it did that, I'm like, oh my God, it knows me. And I was like, that spoke to me. Like I used 2 of those words in an explanation about myself that it highlighted in that.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what? Side note, this is probably inappropriate, but that's fine.
We like it inappropriate here.
When they make the AI robots that are like, it knows me, like that, even just saying that out loud, right? Like you're going to be hanging out with this person and no one is going to be able to know you like it knows you and remember all the chats that you've had for the last 2 years. It's going to get creepy. There's going to be a lot of guys just hanging out in their basements.
There's a lot of people who
never coming out and talking to real people.
And there are actually a lot of people who interacting with AI as if AI is their friend, but they're just not coming out and saying it.
Yeah.
Because they're having conversations with ChatGPT or with Claude or whoever it is. And they're getting responses. And the thing about it is you get instant responses. So it's like in the age of instant gratification that appeals to people when they could talk to something or somebody in their mind and get a response instantly. And the response is, it actually has like body on it. It's not just like a robotic response. It's a response that has a sense of emotion.
Yeah.
You know, and the more they develop it is the more that it just continues to grow and connects with humans. So
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast recently, and I think it was Joe Rogan possibly. And on there, they're talking about one of the top, what's that site called? OnlyFans models is an AI model, and you can't tell the difference. And it can chat with multiple people simultaneously, and it gets to know you from your conversations, and it gears the conversations, and it will do everything that you want in your mind.
Crazy.
And you think it's a real person. Nobody knows it's an AI model.
Crazy.
And that's the pictures, the videos, and the talking. And they're selling this. The creators are selling that as a franchise, so you can buy your own AI bot, create the look and who she is for creating an OnlyFans. And these people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars on a fake AI bot.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. Even like Instagram and not OnlyFans, like all the influencers are going to be AI soon.
Maybe I should get out of doing real estate investing and just get some AI OnlyFans bots, and I could make a lot more money.
That's passive income right there.
I just make sure my church or
Totally
somebody doesn't find out
Get
about it.
rental properties. The
Totally
toilet never
passive.
breaks on that.
When the church comes to you and they're like, we don't like what you're doing. I'm like, I'm not using real people, so I feel like I'm doing better for the world.
Oh my God.
Hey, well, before we wrap up, Megan, thank you so much for coming on these last 2 episodes. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. Yeah.
And if you guys don't know, I think we mentioned this on previous podcasts, but we reached out to Megan and we said, hey, Megan, we want to be able to make sure that our schedule is consistent. So we're recording every week, and you're not always going to be available, of course. But if Owen's gone or if I'm gone, can you be the one that fills in? Or just, that chair is always there, and you're always welcome just to be on the podcast with us and be part of the process. We're here on Fridays, and you can come and jump on whenever you like. But thank you so much for setting up Katie coming on, giving us different perspective on this. This is the most I've talked in a really long time. So I just want to apologize to the listeners.
You did so great. Jeff goes, "You're such an asshole. I don't know why you're worried about it. You ask so many questions to everyone. You're going to do great at this." I'm like, I've never been on this side of it. I've been on probably 50 podcasts. I've never had to ask the question. So it was a little bit different, but I appreciate you having me on.
I got a big prep on this because I got interviewed by Craig Kurlop, and I was just like, and I'm not normally on that side. And I'm like, and I told him, I was like, I was a little nervous about this. And it went well, but oh my gosh, I talked so much. And I was so nervous, I prepped all day for it. Do not listen to that podcast.
I want to hear it.
I want to hear it.
Okay, well, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you, Aiden Bear, for being back there behind the scenes.
Let's go, Aiden.
Yeah.
And with that, then Lis Bertrand, we see us out today.
On behalf of REIA Radio, Ted Kaasch, Megan Ahern, I am Lis Bertrand, and you've been listening to the Real Estate Rundown. Thank you, guys. See you soon.
Sign off.
There we go.
This episode is also brought to you by PropStream and Magic Door.
You kind of look like a Starship Trooper from Star Wars, and he has the helmet on.
Oh, that's cool.
Or maybe,
I'll take that.
or maybe a little bit of like Dead Mouse, with the.
I'll take that.
Okay.
Except I don't know who that mouse is. Oh no, the DJ. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Or all organic. My voice go there.
Organic.
Organic. Megan, what you been going doing? Radio.